So Matthew's at the forefront of consciousness, human potential, spiritual growth for more than 2 decades. He has co-founded successful companies in the field of health, epigenetics and conscious evolution. He's an international speaker, spiritual teacher and mentor. He offers strategies to creating a life with zero limits. Matthew believes we all have zero limits, a capacity to create the life we desire. We are multi-dimensional beings with advanced conscious abilities. So please make welcome the metaphysical mentor, Matthew Patti.
Thanks, Murray. Thank you. Well, welcome. So now that you're blissfully in a state of either alpha or theta, you're very receptive, right? Very receptive. There's a perfect opportunity for you to receive new, upgraded information. New information that gives you the potential to move yourself, your awareness, into new fields of potential, of possibility. So, first and foremost, I'd just like to say thank you to Anthony and the team, and if you would like to join me in giving them a big round of applause for this fantastic event. So thank you for bringing this together. And the reason that we clap is to raise the energy. The reason we give gratitude is to bring presence to ourselves. Bring presence. And inside of presence is awareness. And it's worth mentioning that over the next 45 minutes, there is quite potentially some topics that may be new to you. I may talk faster than you're used to. I may go deeper faster than you're used to, but that's just me. So what I'd like you to do is to absorb with your beingness, with a state of beingness, rather than trying to logically attach to language. Is that going to be okay? Yeah? So just receive the information, because words, as I often convey to my clients and people that I work with, are often the least reliable form of communication. Would you agree? Because we often feel what we really want, what we really desire, long before we can actually articulate the words, find the words, or the meaning that we give to those words in order to create the thing. Yes? So we're going to have a little bit of interaction today. You've already met some new people, which is great. But let's think of this room as the 2 hemispheres of your brain. The 2 hemispheres of your brain. So if I was putting my aerobic pants on, then I would say that this is the right-hand side of the room. This is the left-hand side of the room. Left hemisphere, right hemisphere, but that doesn't matter. So what we're going to do in a moment is this side, you are going to make a tone, a sound. This side, you're going to make a different tone, a different sound. Cool? Are we happy with that? Because although that the entire back row, or the back couple of rows, is filled with first wavers, you've shifted since the beginning of the presentation, which is good. There was just this beautiful, mature, grounded energy at the back, and now there's this beautiful dispersal of colour, of energy. And that's really where I come from. To step forward as a zero limiter, a zero limit being, means that you are embodying your 5th dimensional, your arc, your angelic self, your divine capacity to create and to experience in every single now moment. Every single moment. So that it doesn't mean that you can only use your power for certain things and not for others. That's where a belief comes in. So you can wield your potential, you can cultivate your potential in any area of your life. Any area of your life. Some of you are fixed, still, like going, what's going to happen next? Like this is, he's just gone straight into it. There's no ease. I did warn you. I'm going to go into it. Because at the end of 2012, after several, I would say, years of unwinding myself, unwinding aspects of my life, that I'd worked very, very hard in the third dimension. You get that concept, the third dimension? The third dimension to build businesses, build physical instruments in this world. It was all unwinding, and it was unwinding at the request of my highest potential, of my higher self. To the point that, as you may see in my bio, that after 3 intense days of presence, and what I mean is presence is being absolutely still, move the mind, not the body. And that's what I'm going to invite you to do today as well. So at the end of that, or during that, there was a point, and it's the 0 point, where everything collapsed. Everything. And it was within a fraction of a moment. Time is irrelevant. And if there's one thing, one of the many things I'd like you to take away from this presentation is that time is absolutely irrelevant. Think about it for a moment. If you want a thing, if you want to create a thing, if you want to experience a thing, you believing it takes time in order for it to arrive, for you to experience it, experiencing it is ripping yourself off, and you are re-enrolling yourself into a belief that has kept you living your past now. So at the end of 2012, in that one moment, I received one message. One moment, one message, one mission. That was to lead the light. That was to help awaken advanced abilities within myself first and within others. Because we are divine, we are eternal, we are immensely powerful, we are unlimited. And even the word unlimited, when you think about it, doesn't really ring true. There is no thing you cannot create, experience, receive, share. Not a thing. And so in that moment, I saw a vision, and that vision was that Gaia, planet Earth, was shrouded in the flower of life, the sacred geometry. And every one of those intersecting circles, those points of light, as I call them, were activation points. Call them grid points, where people just like me, just like you, were waking up our own unique powers, and cultivating those. And it might be moving forward, you're moving your gifts forward in the world, whether it's in business, whether it's in hobby, or whether it's in service in some capacity to yourself, your friends, your family, your community. And in doing so, that created an electromagnetic field that amplified and accelerated the awakening process, the ascension curve. Yes? So, the core message within Lead the Light is that we are here for 2 reasons. 2 primers, as I like to call them. 1, you are here to learn, to relearn how to master energy, how to manipulate, command, wield energy. And if your mind goes immediately to what some have said to me before, I don't like that word manipulation. That's an old belief system that was given to you. But in order to cultivate something, we must move it. We must be the potter of, not the Harry Potter, but the potter of, well, you could say the Harry Potter. So it's the good that wants to birth the creation. It's the good that wants to experience and to share that experience. So that's the first primer I would like to share with you, is to master your energy. Within that is about mastering your shit. Pardon my French. Letting go of it. The second primer is to shift density, or to shed density, and that's what the planet's doing right now. That's what governments are doing, that's what educational and institutions are doing, that's what the medical system, that's what we are doing within relationships, within ourselves. We are shedding density. Shedding density is getting rid of the past, is transmuting the old into the new. It's not going anywhere to it, for it. Remember, when you have to go somewhere, you are enrolled in time. It all happens now. So, they're the two primers I'd like you to consider as why we are all here. They're the two things that are going to help us. Remember, in any moment, you are here to master energy. In that moment, you're also here to shed or shift density within your being, within your body. Because the lower three energy centers are third dimensional in nature. They are coming online to higher frequencies. But until you can move the energy past the lower three energy centers or chakras into what I call your fourth gateway, you are living in survival. You are living in a third dimensional reality and are frustrated doing so. That's if you're on the fringe of waking up, starting to wake up, or have been awake for quite some time. Would you agree? Can you relate to that? So anytime we go into the past or into an experience that reminds us of, oh, I've been here before, we are here. It's this xylophone that goes off the whole time. So as I walked up on stage after Anthony introduced me, this felt like the 3D part of me that was walking. But the 5D was the glider. Make sense? So it's that apparition, it's that real ease, that flow. That's where advanced conscious abilities are birthed from. That's where they are experienced, and that's where they are cultivated. Does that make sense? Yeah? So I'll come back to it in a moment, these lower energy centers. Because if you're a law of attraction fan, if you're a manifesting fan, if you want anything in life and you find it really, really difficult, who relates to that? Found a little bit difficult, or some things come to you really easily and other things not so much. Yeah? That's because you haven't shifted energy. And because your field, you are drawing energy from your field. There is little give back because of your lack. So when you are in a symbiotic, and this is where we're going to do this exercise in a moment, when you are in coherence with your field, what comes to you is what you desire. And what you desire comes from creation and from your fourth gateway and above, rather than the survival mechanisms that I need the food, the money, the clothing, the house, the physical interaction, whatever it is. Does that make sense? So we give back to the field. Therefore, we are uploaders and downloaders of consciousness, rather than I'm just sucking off the grid because I just want to live. I just want to get to the next moment. But I'm really spiritual, and I'll sit there with my legs crossed and my fingers in certain positions, whatever it is, even one of those sometimes, because I'm not that happy. And I'll trick myself into being something else because I continue to play the third dimensional game. Make sense? I did warn you that we would go deep. Pardon me for that. Just slow down. That's that sign. All right, let's do this. Coherence. Everyone up for it on this side? Yeah. Let's do it. So your sound is ah. Ah. Cool. Okay, that's just like passing gas. That's just getting rid of it. Now, mean it this time. Be hungry for it. Leave the gas behind. Pardon the pun. So after 3, 1, 2, 3. Ah. Perfect. Excellent. Now, give it some. This side of the room, you guys are Om. Om. Good. Excellent. Now, very, very simple. We're talking left hemisphere, right hemisphere. We're talking interaction. Because this, without interaction with this, and this, without interaction with this, is keeping you small. It's keeping you incoherent. It's keeping your EMF, your electromagnetic frequency, controlled, contracted. Make sense? Yeah. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. After 3, you guys go. Then stop. After 3, you guys go. After 3, you all make the sounds. You're the R's, you're the Oms. Cool? Just do one more practice. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Ah. Cool. Reminds me of Close Encounters. Does anyone remember that? Like just that noise. Duh, duh, duh. Anyway, that's weird. This side, ready? After 3, 3, 2, 1. Om. Excellent. Those people watching at home, if it's blowing your ears, I do apologise. Just stand back a little bit. Okay, after 3, you do your thing at the same time. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Good. How good? Give yourselves a clap. Good. Now, if you could feel what I felt then, because it was coming forward, it was coming out of you. Just goosebumps. Goosebumps. Now, mean it this time. It's not like, but I might be the loudest person because that person next to me might not be as loud, and if I'm louder then people will hear me. Give it some. Mean it, okay? We've only got a couple of minutes for this exercise. All together, erupt. 3, 2, 1. Good. How cool. Well done. Well done. That is coherence. Coherence is a signature, an electromagnetic signature. What you want is emitted and embodied. Well, it's embodied first, yes, and as a process of being embodied, you emit that frequency. So in the work that I do, quantum physics, merged with neuroplasticity, merged with mysticism. Very much like Anthony, I started very early on. I was just interested, hungry, anything of the unknown, the occult, the mysterious, anything that went bump in the night. So I had all these rubber things like spiders and bats and hooked them up everywhere in my room as a youngster, trying to scare people. But really, it was just an entertainment for me. So, moving forward in my life, the first part of my life was very physical, and that's what it may feel like for you. Maybe you've been there too. So I trained as a physiologist, and I worked with, athletes, CEOs, surgeons and doctors, all about rehabilitation, all about the body. The metaphysical aspect was sitting behind the physical. But as I grew, and as I ticked boxes in this world, I thought there's something more. There's something else that is drawing me forward. There's a piece of the puzzle that is still undefined, still begging to be disclosed, still asking to be accepted. And that was spirituality. The consciousness, who we really are. And so in that moment at the end of 2012, really my wife is here and she would attest to that as well. That it was days and weeks and months after it, there were just lightning storms going off in my body. There was information being received that I could not physically or mentally comprehend. I just knew I was receiving it. Can anyone relate to that? Yeah? I'm sure many of you can. So it doesn't make me any different. It means that was my time. That the switch for me turned on then. And for some of you, it may have been a lot earlier. It may be more recent. But the two primers, through my view, my lens, they still hold strong, which is, some people have a world view. I'm here for humanity. I want to raise the consciousness of the planet. Fill your cup first. Fill your cup first. If you are running on empty, you're running on empty, you may feel like you're giving out, but all you're doing is depleting the field. Therefore, depleting your conscious creative abilities. Make sense? Yeah? So just think about that exercise that we just did. The ah and the om, the hemispheres coming together, coherence, where what you think and what you feel are aligned. And for you to walk that embodiment, there is no thing you cannot achieve. That is the expanded state. That is your true divine potential. So as an example, I've got many accounts or stories of clients, whether it's health, whether it's their home, and unsubscribing from the linear time model, which we'll talk about in a moment, has brought what they've desired to them super quickly. Because they are the field that is engineering that outcome. Does that make sense? So instead of it thinking that from a quantum perspective, it is out there and it needs to come to me, I need to be something else, I need to do something. The law at work is that you transcend the doing, thought and feeling, you are coherent into being. Does that make sense? Thought, pure thought, into being. And so you are all beings. All beings. And yet we confuse ourselves a lot because we stay addicted to the doing. Yeah? So in staying addicted to the doing, we stay here. And we keep the energy from rising. We keep the energy from rising into the creational zones. The creational, the fourth gateway and beyond. And one of my clients recently asked me and said, so in the future, she's an Aquarius, so she lives in the future. You can probably relate if you're an Aquarian. Future, technology. So are we going to have the 3 lower energy centers or the 3 lower chakras in the future? Well, how about we just move the energy and assimilate into that new zone, into that new dimension? She goes, oh, okay, right. So she just loves the question, which is really entertaining. So, whilst you're thinking about the next chakra exfoliation session that you need to do, and it's just not clean enough, I need to keep going in and cleaning it and all the rest, move the energy. And you move it and you liberate it, that's the way you liberate your life. That's the way you expand your potential. That's the way that you engage the field of potential. And that's the way that stuff, magical stuff, just happens. Yes? So, here's what I'd like you to do, just a quick little exercise. I'd like you to think of something that you'd like to experience. So, hey, that'd be really cool if that happened today. Just think of one thing. And don't give it any boundaries. We just let it go. That would be really cool if that happened today. Or wouldn't it be cool if that happened? Now, everyone got something? Who put your hand up if you have not got something? Or you sat there and thought, I don't want, there's 2 or 3 things. I'm not sure which one to choose. That's it. Or I really want that, but no, maybe I should just go for this one. It feels easier. Who did that? Someone's putting their hand up on the inside. A couple of people. Good. That is this working. That's saying, I've only experienced this in my life, so therefore I only believe that this is possible. And I operate within a bandwidth. I stay in a bandwidth, and my evolution does as well. And so as my soul's evolution is saying, can you please desire more for yourself? Can you please see that the cycles that you have habitually, addictively relived, money, love, career, whatever it is throughout your life, can you please just see that they are ready to be transmuted? You're done. As soon as you break through that I don't need to do the same thing again, you're liberated. That's phase number 1. And what you just experienced, what you just thought of then, wouldn't it be cool if this happened? That means that of all the potentials in the field, all of them, you as the observer moved your awareness, you shone your light onto a potential and you created something. Now it exists in the field. Does that make sense? It already exists. But Matt, how do I bring it to me? Okay, not the question. Well, how long is it going to take? Not the question. Embody the knowledge and the wisdom that the potential already exists. You have just shone your light on it as a thought. Now stay focused on it. Can you do that? And you stay focused, not say, I've got to make it happen. I've got to make it happen. No. You stay focused and you keep your desire from a point of creation, rather than from a point of, it's not here yet. Or maybe I stretched my limits. Maybe it's really safe and comfortable to be operating in that bandwidth. I did say, going to give you a lot of food for thought. Okay? So, here's one thing that I would like you to do really, really quickly, is I'd like you to share with the person next to you one insight that has dropped out for you right now. One insight. Just go. We've got literally 60 seconds because I've got more to share with you. Can we do that? So just turn to someone next to you and just share the biggest insight that you've received right now. Integrate. Okay, make sure you swap over. Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you. So, do you think the person sitting next to you, regardless of whether they're your friend, your wife, your lover, your ex, your next door neighbour, your off-planet contact, do you think it's random? Okay, so in sharing your insights, you integrate them more. Encourage yourself to share more. Whether it's about diarising something, yeah, or getting on the phone and going, guess what? And that's it. And you go, thanks, and you hang up. That's it. That's a really good game to play. You should try it. Hey, guess what? And they go, what? And you go, they go, cool, yeah, right, see ya. It's easy, it's easy. So the third dimensional stuff gets people hamstrung a little. I'm not a big fan of the third dimension, I hear people say. It's so heavy, it's so contrasty, it's so 2000, you know? It's not cool, it's not hip. You know, this money thing really bugs me because although I need it, I really just dislike the system, you know, what it stands for, yada, yada, yada. And I'm going to be potentially a little tough on that right now. You, as an embodied divine being, can move through many dimensions, frictionless, which means we don't go, I'm going to take the stairs down to the 3rd D and I'm going to watch the movie for a little while, eat the popcorn, have the Maltesers, that's my thing, my wife's the popcorn. And then I'm going to go back up and I'm going to live here in the fairy garden, in the wonderland of rainbows and Skittles. That's not an ad for Skittles, by the way. That's indoctrination right there. Yeah. So the 3rd D, you must, through embodiment, you can walk in and out. You can walk between worlds. And that's what I love helping people to do. And how you do that is you move your mind before you move your body. You move your mind into thinking and creating potentials that exist already because you thought it so. The mere fact that you have thought it, the neurochemical responses within the brain and the circulatory to pick up and generate the thought, where does it come from? It doesn't come from the brain. It comes from the field and your ability to observe. So in the third dimension, there's so many people that have a lens, a monomaniacal, a small monocular lens that they look at the world through. That's the only thing that can exist. And I feel contracted. And this is the way that I can survive. And this is the way that I can get ahead. But as you broaden your lens, as you understand that the miracle is the moment, and this moment is eternal, so the lie that I've lived by is my past. And the fantasy that I hope for is my future. Does that make sense? Like people going, oh God, you know, like don't be so heavy, you're saying probably to me. Like I want to give you as much value in the time that we have. Right now is the only moment that exists. And it's one of the hardest things to conceptualize. It's one of the hardest things to cultivate and to practice, but it's so worth it. Because right now, that thought, that lightning strike that came to you was just birthed. Because all the potentials in the field, when they are unobserved, are in the superposition. As soon as you observe a potential, as soon as a thought becomes a thing in the field, it moves from superposition, it collapses, and it becomes something. Does that make sense? But has it become something because I haven't got it in my hands yet? I haven't got the house paid off, or I haven't got the car, or I haven't got the love, or the mate, or the debt paid down, whatever it is. It's sitting at your stargate. It's sitting where formless meets form, where energy meets matter. It's sitting there. And you're constipated. Okay? You're thinking it's not here yet because you haven't brought it in. You've realized it and you've said, hey, this is a great idea. And then you've gone, zzz, put it down there, and you go, oh, how am I going to do that? The how is the doing. Are you getting it? Thought, it just collapsed as a potential. The beingness is your electromagnetic feeling, your frequency, it's your signature. That's what brings it to you. That's what exists and lives within you. Yeah? So, we've got a couple of minutes left. Here's what I'd like you to consider. Tomorrow, you wake up and realize, fully alert, that you are a divine, conscious, unlimited being with incredible powers. What's the first thing you do? What's the first thing you do? Fly. What's the first thing you do? Just spit them out. Come on. Love? Appreciate? Smile. Keep coming. Create. Believe. Do. Be. Dance.
Give thanks.
Give thanks.
Set off my alarm.
Set off your... You could turn off your alarm. Love it. Yeah. No more need for that. No more need for that. See, that's often the first time we ask ourselves that question, and then we step forward to answering it. Most people answer from here. Most people answer from here, and that's okay, because remember, we're filling our cup. When we fill our cup, it's like, well, if I can create anything, and I've just awoken an advanced capacities within my divine self, I'd clear that, I'd heal that, I'd do this, I'd do that. As you fill your cup, as you move to your fourth gateway, you begin communicating differently, yes? You begin communicating with your field differently, because you are different. And so then the next question you may ask subconsciously is, how will I use my superpowers to help others, to help the planet? That's where it's at. For you to go and be at the front line, for you to be at the back of the line, it's all about perspective. The back of the line is actually the front for those people that are looking that way. Start here. Awaken advanced conscious abilities by moving your energy, intentionally moving your energy to your creation zones. To your creation zones. This is 5D. The third density, the third dimension rather, is required. It's an evolutionary protocol. It's a template. And the longer you stay in resistance, the longer persistence, right? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do 3 awesome coherence exercises. And here's why. When we do it together, what you thought of before as a potential, what you desired, it has now been strengthened and now tethered electromagnetically to you, not to the person next to you, to you. That's the level of belief that I encourage you to have. So that you move from belief to faith, and from faith you move into trust. Because as a divine being, you trust yourself. And although starting a journey you might sort of feel, I need more confidence, I need more clarity. I'm at the stage of my life, I'm not sure where I need to go, but I do know I'm done with that. And that is my past, or that is no longer me. Anyone relate to that? Yeah? So in that process, you are in the void. You are in the most magical opportunity or space. Because now, the thought, pure, can seed your beingness. And the doing, which you've been so addicted to in the past, falls away. Your beingness becomes your doing. All right? So let's put the energy behind it. And if you do have a little yawn or two, you're just inhaling energy. That's good. It's good. Ready? So we're going to do it. This side, you know what you've got to do. This side, you know what you've got to do. We're going to do it 3 times. And I'd like you to do it like you've woken up tomorrow morning, fully awake, fully active, fully conscious of your advanced conscious abilities. Yeah? Do it from that place. All right, here we go. Both together. 3, 2, 1. Louder, 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 louder. Beautiful. 2 more times. Big deep breath in. 3, 2, 1, go. Good. 1 more time. Give it some. This is creating static in your field. You know when you rub something and all of a sudden your hairs are standing up? You're connected. 3, 2, 1, go. Louder, louder, louder. Well done. Give yourselves a round of applause. Excellent, excellent. So remember there's 2 things, 2 primers. 1, you are here of all the experiences, of all the circumstances, of all the events, the people, places and things. Number 1, you're here to learn how to master energy. Number 2, as an awakened being, you are here to shift density. Shifting density means, hey, I'm Teflon. Pleased to meet you. Things just move off you. You know who you are. You trust in yourself enough. You trust in yourself, full stop. Because what you want wants you. And as soon as you observe something in the field, as soon as you receive a lightning strike, which is, I need to push pause on my life, or I need to stop this side of my life, or rework it, you're in a beautiful state, a beautiful space, a beautiful opportunity to step into the next level of your life. And that next level of your life, really quickly, is, if you think 3D, forward, back, right, left, up, down. That's third dimension. Fourth dimension is time. If I walk from here to here, it's taken me some time to do so, and I've done it through those three-dimensional aspects. Lastly, this is the power. Inside your head, say what this is. Inside your head. Okay. Some may say 5, some may say hand, some may say a palm, or whatever. That's your fifth dimensional nature. Did your lips move? Someone did, but that's cool. Just wanted to get some energy out. Did you hear it? You did. Did you say it? Yes, but it wasn't your voice box. That's where you live. As an unlimited, divine, eternal, powerful, creational being, you live in that vibration. So the work has got to be done on the inside. That's where zero limits are created. That's where you are evolving to. Yeah? So really quickly, I'd like you to re-engineer what you thought before and strengthen it up. Strengthen it up. Strengthen what you desire up. Yeah? And if it's changed, that's cool. Because you can have it all. You can have it all. Fill your cup runneth over, you are in greater service. You are in greater service. Okay? So right now, just turn to the person next to you. One last insight, just share with them what penny dropped for you from this second part. Just share now. 60 seconds. Let's go for it. Yep. Making sure you're swapping over. Okay, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You are the R and the Om. You are the R and the Om. You are coherent. Big love. Bye now.